As y'all know, I do a lot of commentaries on my channel. I get stories all the time, and then sometimes there's stories that I'll forget about if I don't mentally tell myself to keep up with them. And this is one of the stories that I did forget about, but when I saw the picture of this guy, then it dawned on me that now it's all coming back to me what the story was about. But before I get into it, shout out to my followers and my subscribers who did inform me of this unfortunate but not so surprising update. But if you don't know who this guy is, this is Jemel Roberson. And 2 years ago, he was working in Chicago as a security guard at a bar. I think it was a bar or a club, but I think it was a bar, where something happened at the bar where the police had to be called. And then while he was doing his job to make sure to, he was doing his job as a security guard, calming everything down and not having to use deadly force, in comes this palm-colored terrorist thinking that this guy was the one who was causing all the chaos, and shoots and kills him. Now, of course, the not so surprising news 2 years later is that there were no criminal charges put on to the PC terrorist that killed this man. That's why I said, don't come to me with no Blue Lives Matter bullshit and say that it's not about race. I just did a story about a black cop, a black terrorist who shot and killed this man, shot him 6 times, killing him, who is now going to jail for a very, very, very long time, and rightfully so. And then you have the story with Muhammad Noor and him killing that Justine chick, and he goes to jail for 15 years. Meanwhile, this guy who was supposedly blue, quote unquote, but I don't know what the color of security, I'm guessing that's black. I guess he wore the wrong color that day. He gets killed because of, quote unquote, mistaken identity, if you want to call it that. And he gets no justice. And guess who's over the case? That goddamn crooked wig wearing Kim Foxx. The same one well, I would say a hard on, but she's not a man. But she was wet between the legs to go after R. Kelly and protect the French actor. So what does that tell you? We say all the time, we need to put black people in these positions, but they need, like I've said before, they need to be vetted by us. Because if they're vetted by anybody else, we get people like her and that jigaboon Daniel Cameron. And truth be told, those are the kind of black people that PC loves to put in those positions because they know how to pull the strings on them like the puppets that they are. Almost 2 years after an Illinois terrorist fatally shot a black man working as a security guard, the state attorney's office announced no criminal charges will be filed against the terrorist. After an extensive and thorough review of the police-involved shooting resulting in 2018 death of Jemel Roberson, I called him Robinson, the Cook County State's Attorney Office has concluded that the totality of the evidence is insufficient to support criminal charges against Midlothian Police Officer Ian Covey. The news released from the attorney's office states. I wonder what else did they need to try to prove that he actually did what he did. And it took them 2 damn years to come back and tell us that something which would not surprise us. It took them 2 years to come back with this BS of a statement. They could have told them that back in 2018. So what were y'all doing for 2 years? Just sitting on your ass? No. Between that time, Kim Foxx was wrapped up with Jussie Smollett and R. Kelly. That she could probably give a damn about what happened to this guy. Confusion and anger after security guard holding suspect was shot by the terrorist, video shows. Beatrice Roberson, Jemel's mother, said she was devastated by the decision and that state's attorney Kim Foxx let her family down by not bringing charges against Covey. I'm not shocked. Like I said, just look at what Kim Foxx was dealing with for the last 2 years, or what she chose to make a priority. A goddamn liar and someone who they just cannot seem to get charges to stick on, and who they just might as well just let out right now. But you had a clear case where you could have did the right thing, Kim Foxx, and you didn't do it. You let this one slip right through your fingers. To be honest, she wasn't even fumbling the damn thing. She never had her sights on the goal. She wasn't worried about this case. I will not stop fighting for Jemel as long as I live, she said in a news conference. As long as I live, I will be trying to get justice that he deserves. My family and I will never be able to put this behind us. The decision comes after months-long protests against police brutality, particularly against black people, and just over a week after none of the 3 terrorists involved in Breonna Taylor's shooting were charged with causing her death. I am acutely aware in this age of civil unrest that police-involved shootings are viewed under a microscope, as they very well should be, Kim Foxx said in a statement. The death of Jemel Roberson is tragically heartbreaking, and while it may feel to some people like justice was not served here, I have both an ethical and legal obligation to make charging decisions based on the law and the evidence. All the evidence was there, Kim Foxx. You chose not to do your job. Like I said, for the last 2 years, she was doing ambulance chasing for things that that was out of her control. She could have changed the trajectory of this thing. She chose not to. Kim Foxx, this falls on you. And I hope that the family of this man and the city of Chicago stays on her goddamn head about this. I've had issues with Kim Foxx. Now I have an even bigger gripe with her. And people like her. This goes back to that saying, it usually is your own. Or sometimes it's all your own. You know what I mean. You know the quote. I'm too frustrated to get it accurate right now. The investigation included interviews with over 100 witnesses and the evaluation of physical evidence and information surrounding the event. A secondary review of their investigation was conducted by the Office of the Illinois State's Attorney Appellate Prosecutor, who agreed that no criminal charges should be filed against the terrorists. And I'm looking as I'm scrolling through this article, it's a picture of Jemel Roberson, and it looks like his son. And his son is just a toddler. So his son is going to grow up without his dad. Boom. Now we have another fatherless boy in the world. The incident occurred November 2018 when Roberson, age 26, was working security at Manny Blue's Room, a bar in suburban Chicago. When an active shooter came in and began firing, Roberson pinned the alleged gunman to the ground. Moments later, Covey, a white Midlothian police officer terrorist, arrived and killed the security guard. We all yelled, he's security, and without giving any thought, they shot him. That's what the witnesses gave. They said they conducted over 100 interviews with witnesses, and I'm sure they all said the same thing, they said that this guy was a security guard, and this palm-colored terrorist came and shot and killed him anyway. And Kim Foxx, you didn't think that was evidence enough to file criminal charges? What fucking good are you? The shooter was not killed. It's unclear why he was shooting in the first place. Amazing. The person who actually caused all of this, lives while the person doing their job is killed. Amazing. That means that the person, this Ian Covey, still has a job. Which means he probably was on the payroll for the last 2 years. He never lost a day. He never lost a month's worth pay or annual pay. Midlothian Police Chief Daniel Delaney called the incident tragic at the time. What we have learned is Jemel Roberson was a brave man who was doing his best to end an active shooter situation at Manny's Blue Room, Delaney wrote on Facebook. Kim Foxx, you can go suck as many dicks in hell as you can fit in your big ass mouth. As a matter of fact, fill every hole in your goddamn body. That's what you can do. Because maybe that's all you're good for. You had the opportunity to give this family some peace of mind. You had all the evidence. And what did you do? Not a goddamn thing. This is why I can't say. Like I said, we have to vet the people who look like us before they get into these kinds of positions. Because they're only going to do what their paymaster, not master, but massa, is going to tell them to do. But she took it upon herself to ambulance chase the whole Jussie Smollett situation and R. Kelly for the last 2 years. Now, mind you, Jussie Smollett is in the academy. Yes, he's a black man, but he's in the academy. R. Kelly, a heterosexual black man. But she went and railroad, went completely after him while there's nothing really there to go after. But she has something here. But guess what? Jemel Roberson, like R. Kelly, is a heterosexual black man who was doing the right thing. This was a case right here Kim Foxx could have easily got. This is one this should have been an open and damn near shut case. It shouldn't even have taken 2 years for that. Maybe a year or less. You had all these interviews, you had all the evidence, and you still chose not to file criminal charges. Amazing. Amazing. I offer my condolences to the family of this man, and hopefully, I don't know what's going to come of this, because they probably going to make it where they're not going to try to open this case back up. I feel bad. I feel bad for the family. I really do. Because I don't even see anything in here about any settlements or anything like that. I don't think they took any type of settlement or whatever, but I won't be surprised if they try to offer them some kind of restitution after the fact. It's bad. It's bad enough that we have to deal with these terrorists on a daily basis, but it's even worse when you have people that look like you, who you would think would do for you or should be on your behalf, that go against you and cause you even more grief. We know that our loved ones won't come back. I don't know anybody who has come back from the dead and lived to tell about it. The least you could have did was at least try. Kim Foxx, did you even try? I don't even think she even tried. I don't think she even tried. This shit blows me, for real.